Hi everyone, how's it going? Andy here, also known as that one dude, and welcome to another Dragon Ball Daima episode review. Today we will be reviewing episode 3 that just dropped a couple of hours ago. Very excited. I had actually a lot of fun watching this episode. It was fun. I mean, was it the best episode? No, it felt a little bit slow at times. I will be the first to admit there. I mean, it does pick up at the end, so it was pretty cool there. Well, I'll get to the end and how awesome it was. I never thought I would ever see that in a Dragon Ball anime. I never thought I'd see that, but it was awesome. I would say the end definitely did pick up. It is a little bit slow paced, so don't expect it to be like this high paced episode. No, it seems like it's settling in. So overall, it was still a good episode. As you can see, somebody here right next to here said basically it's a 7 out of 10, and I think I agree with that. I would agree with Vowed Prime. I believe that's his name. It's probably not the whole name. I'm sorry, I do apologize, but I do agree with him. A 7 out of 10 seems like a good. What I would agree with the rating for episode 3. Of course, as usual, shoutouts to DBS Hype for all the pictures are out to take a look. Go ahead and give him a follow. Also, subscribe to his channel for sure. Always puts out amazing Dragon Ball content. So yeah, so let's go ahead and start with the review for episode 3. Now, basically, episode 3 starts off with where we left off. Glorio, Shin, and Goku are in the demon plane that they use in order for them to get from universe to universe. Yeah, so basically they're going towards warp. Now warp is what is used in order for you to go from realm to realm. It's the only point. It's the only access point you have to go from their universe to the demon realm universe. So yeah, basically warp is that. So they have to go to there. Warp is actually the nearest one that's located from Earth is actually in a planet called Batavi in the Raka system. I hope I said that correctly. But yeah, they have to go to that planet in order to find that. But we do get a little bit of backstory while they're headed over there. Of course, the backstory here is they're asking, oh well, why is Glorio here? Why did you come to get Goku specifically? Well, he said he was sent by the king of the third demon realm. Now, basically, just so you can overview that, there's in the demon realm, it's not just one. No, there's actually three different worlds in the demon realm. There's one, two, three, and from what I saw, basically, just to preface all that, the first demon realm is better than the second, and of course, the second is better than the third. So it seems like the third is the lowest one in the demon realm. That's the lowest world you can start off at. And then there's ways for you to access it, but we'll get down. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But yeah, so they have to go to warp. So once they're there, there's a lot of silly stuff that happens there. So as you can see, this is when they get to warp. There, Goku's in shock. It's a big goldfish, in his words. Something that Warp does not like. He hates being called a big goldfish. He is not a fan of that. He starts getting angry, and they basically say that he has a very short temper, so he has to be very, very careful. But yeah, as usual, Goku doesn't listen. He keeps calling him goldfish, goldfish, goldfish. He gets angry, and of course, they're saying Warp's not going to let us through if you keep pissing him off, in other words. So, but yeah, just to preface again, Gloria was sent by the king of the third demon realm. So yeah, so now going back to the big goldfish. So Warp just gets angry. He does. So well, as you see, this is when he first meets him. Now let's actually go ahead and check a couple of pictures out. He gets angry there, as you can see. Hey, a big goldfish, as you can see. And then Warp's like, I'm not a goldfish. As you can see, he's already starting to get angry there. Look at his eyesight, look at his mouth. He's like, oh, boy, that is not me. I am not a goldfish. So he definitely got angry. And of course, you see Goku. He's like, nah, you totally are a big goldfish. Yep, he keeps pressing his buttons, and of course, you can see his eyes already red. He's boiling with rage. He looks like he's about, well, he has a pouted face. He looks like he's about to explode. He went from a gray fish to a red fish real quick. And of course, continue on. Then he's like, then if you're not a goldfish, are you a pop-eyed goldfish? Which makes it even worse. So, I mean, Warp is just fuming. He's like, a pop-eyed goldfish is a goldfish. So he gets even angrier. So at that point, Shin has to basically shut him up. He tosses him to the back. He puts his mouth on him and makes sure he doesn't talk. Now, one of the interesting things here is in order for you to be able to travel from the demon realm to the regular world, to the regular universe, sorry, you have to basically submit an application in the demon realm. And then there, once you're approved, you get a specific code in order for you to go back in. Shin does mention that that wasn't the case before, so this is something new that's come up where Shin, Shin wasn't there, so he's not aware of it. So it's something new. So you have to submit an application. Once it's accepted, you get a pin code, and that's the only way you can go back into the demon realm. So Glorio does have that all set up and ready to go. So you gave him a number of, it's 2 8s, and then I forgot the other last two. I do apologize about that. So once he's there, of course, they let him in. They go in, but before they do, he notices one thing. He's like, I need to make sure everybody's a demon. So Glorio has a pointed ears. Well, just to recap that before I go further, you're considered a part of the demon realm if you have pointed ears. So Glorio has pointed ears. Shin has pointed ears. However, Goku does not. So he checks Glorio. His ears are pointed. He says, then he tells Shin, let me check your ears. His ears are pointed. Then he asks, let me see Goku's ears. They're covering his ears. And he's like, no, I need to see his ears. So, of course, with rounded ears, he would not be able to get in. Shin using some magic, and he transforms Goku's ears, and he makes them pointed, and Warp says, okay, you guys are good to go. They go in. Once they're there, they go into this little fancy thing. Then they see they're in this waiting alley or waiting room, like they like to call it. Then that's where we see, and they talk about the demon realm being broken up into three different worlds: the first, the second, and the third. Now, King Goma, that's the main villain, of course, of the game. Sorry, I've been playing too many Sparking Zero. Sorry about that. He's the main villain of the anime, the main villain of Daima, and he's short, but they did mention that he's extremely strong. So he is very amazing with magic. So that's going to be something interesting here. If you've seen the manga, we know a little bit about magic, of course, with Moro. When they fought Moro, he's involved with magic there. So King Goma is short. He's not physically strong, but he's extremely powerful with magic. So it's going to be interesting to see how they fight King Goma there. Of course, as most of you know, if you saw the episode, that King Goma was actually, so I can preface this a little bit. The king of the third demon realm sent Glorio to get Goku to get rid of King Goma from the first demon world. Sorry, King Goma is the king of the first demon world, so there seems to be a feud between the king of the third demon world as well as King Goma. So once they're there, they're broken up into three, and basically what they say is, in order for you to use warp, anybody from the first demon world is able to use it. However, once you get to the second demon world, only a select few are able to use it. Now, if you're in the third one, you cannot use warp, apparently. So Shin becomes sus of Glorio, and he's like, okay, then how are you able to get in? And then basically Glorio says, well, actually, I work for the first demon world. And then he goes, what do you exactly work at? And Glorio is very vague, so we're not sure exactly what he works at. He avoided the question. He was like, oh, this and that. And pretty much that's where it stayed. So basically, they go into the third demon world. They're there. And of course, basically, Glorio says, I can't fly. They're flying slowly. And he says, I can't fly it fast because of the air. It'll destroy the plane if I do. So they're basically there. Now, of course, let's go back here real quick. See, he's rather with the warp there. Of course, that's where they're at this point here. They're basically flying through the third demon world. And this is actually a funny part. I do have that here, I think. Yes. Should be this one. No, that's the second part of that. Here it is. So he's in this part. Now, they notice that, the air is pretty heavy. They see a lot of volcanoes there. They notice a smell. So when they notice the smell, they go, why does it smell? It's because there are volcanoes all over. Those are the ones that release the gas. That's the reason why the air is heavy and it has this smell. So, of course, Goku being silly, so he's like, oh, so that's why it stinks. And he's like, I could probably fart and nobody notice. And if most of you know, of course, Goku, being silly. And then Shin goes, that's being crude. Well, if we all know Goku pretty well at this point. He then Glorio's like, after a little bit, Glorio's like, well, the smell seems to have increased. Of course, Goku being blush, as you can see. Well, it looks like he ripped one. He just farted and just let it rip, and well, apparently his farts stink. So, well, I mean, it would make sense with all the food that he eats. It would completely make sense. So, well, there you go. I mean, it's good old Goku. He doesn't change. Glad he doesn't. So yeah, they're flying around, and we do see a statue of King Deborah. So it's a nice throwback there. It's old and it hasn't been taken care of, but it's a cool, throwback there to Dragon Ball Z. So we see the Boro there, and the statue, of course, in poor shape, but it's there. So then Goku says, "Can we, step outside for a bit to get some air?" So they do. Then, of course, he notices the air being heavier. He notices gas, but the Goro says, "No, don't worry. You're safe. You're okay there." Now Goku does notice that it's heavier. He moves slower. He does. Apart from just getting used to the smaller body, the air is heavier, which basically means he's moving slower. Now he's moving around. They're just talking. All of a sudden, he's jumping around. He notices a little animal that's hopping, sort of a rabbit. He hops, he gets to an edge, almost falls over, and Glorio basically scolds him and says, "Do not go under that. Do not fall into that." He calls it the Sea of Darkness. If Goku were to fall into that, he would perish immediately. So that is something that they're gonna want to avoid there. Is it something that I think is gonna come back? I do. We're gonna see that probably in future episodes. I mean, could they probably go in there? I have a feeling they will, especially since they emphasize that if somebody goes in there, they would perish. So I have a feeling that we're gonna see the Sea of Darkness again, and we might see Goku, Vegeta, and them actually go in it and actually not perish. So it'll be interesting to see. So of course, once that's all done, they fly again. They go slowly. So now they're going there, and then all of a sudden, Glorio. Well, let me go back a little bit while they're down there. Glorio calls Shin a Glind, and Glinds are located in the second demon realm. So there's basically we're getting a little bit of backstory here on Shin. So Shin's ancestors and their relatives and all that are from the second demon realm. So he's from the second demon realm. So he's like, and then he says you have no reason to be in the third demon realm. So it's interesting. So it seems like we're gonna go through and traverse through all the demon worlds before we get to the first one. Of course, we'll probably go to the third one. Then we'll go into the second one, which is Shin's world, and then we'll go into the final one, which would be the first demon realm where King Goma is located. Now going back to it, they fly, then they finally see, okay, they say it's nighttime in Earth, so let's go ahead and settle down. They find a little town, or I would say a little city there. They land. They try to get a hotel room. The hotel guy tries to rip him off by calling 30,000. Glorio gets upset, grabs him by the neck, or by the shirt basically, threatens him with, his weapon that he has. And the guy gets scared immediately and says, "Oh no, it won't be 30,000 for you. It'll only be 5,000 for both rooms." Well, there you go. He only pays 5,000. He only paid a sixth. The threat did work, so he paid a sixth of what he tried to rip him off for. And then basically there, Goku, being his usual self, he's like, "Man, I'm hungry." He's like, I haven't eaten in a few hours. I can go for some food." So he's like, "Well, there's a burger place across the street." Well, it's like a bar/burger place. They go across, they get stared at, they get Mad Dog walking in. Then they're ordering. Glorio's like, "Okay, I'll have a drink." He asks Shin if he wants a drink. He says, "Well," he asks Goku, "Okay, is one burger good enough?" He's like, "Well," he's like, "I'm hungry, honestly. I can go, give me 5 burgers to start." Well, I mean, and he calls that a light snack, so. Oh, you see, right there, King Deborah statue there. Cool. Okay, here we go. We're getting to this scene. So they're at the bar. So they're there. They get stared at. And then all of a sudden, these guys come in. And they're like, "Hey, why is his ears rounded? He's not from here." They get upset. And then Gloria's like, "Leave." Another guy comes in. Says the same thing. "Where are you guys from?" "I told you to leave." So they get threatened. They get surrounded. Well, we find out that Glorio is a very good fighter. He took out both guys relatively easily. So it's like, okay, well, I was like, we're not seriously getting a bar fight. I would never think we would have got a bar fight in the Dragon Ball anime. Like, there's no way, right? Well, lo and behold, there's a bar fight in the Dragon Ball anime. And of course, Goku is eating his burger while he's fighting these bad guys that are trying to jump him. So yeah, the bar fight's completely underway at that point. Goku's just basically practicing for him. This will help me get used to it. This will be perfect for me. So he basically fights everybody off. Then we see this guy in pink. We never got his name. He tries to pick up a huge axe, basically goes full ham, misses, and then Goku just knocks him out. And he basically knocks everybody out while eating burgers, might I add you at the same time. Demon Realm burgers. He's over there stuffing his face while fighting these guys, and he beats him up, and he does a very good job. And, I mean, he wins, and then he's like, "Man, I can go for another burger now," and basically say, "Hey, one more burger," and the bartender immediately does it for him, and he eats the burger, and there you go. So, they finish up, they go to sleep. before when they're sleeping, we noticed the two guys in the bar fight that got beaten up by Goku running, and they're like, "Oh no, we're gonna make them pay. Just watch." So then they sleep, they wake up, Glory gets them. Okay, it's time for us to go. They go, check, and what happens? Well, terrible news. Their plane has been stolen. And it's the guy with the pink guy that tried to swing an axe at Goku that missed terribly and got knocked out basically in one punch or one kick, I forgot. But he knocked him out relatively easily. So we see his axe, there's a note there. So their plane has been stolen. So now they're in trouble. Now they're stuck there. They got to figure out where their plane went, and they got to find the guys that did it and take their plane back. Now, that's the next, what I'm expecting the next episode. They're going to be traveling. They're probably going to find the guys. Will they find the plane in good shape? Probably not. And that's where I think we'll probably see our heroes coming in, like Vegeta, Bulma, all of them, Piccolo. I see them coming in there with their plane, and then moving on from there. That's where I see them moving on from there. Is once Bulma and them get there with that ship, they'll be ready to go. So I don't expect them to get the original plane back. I don't, but I do expect, the other heroes to come in and save the day. And yeah, that will go ahead and actually finish up the episode review there. Like I said, I agreed with the guy. A 7 out of 10 seems, appropriate. It does. Like I said, it's a little bit slow. It does pick up at the end. We get that bar fight, which you would have, like I said, I never thought I'd see that. A very fun bar fight, definitely is for sure. Had fun with that. Just just to make sure. Basically, I know I didn't mention this. I'll mention it now. Basically, the king of the third demon realm. His name is King Kadan. I think, or King Kaden. I think something like that. It's Kadan. That's how you spell his name. So that's the king of the third demon realm, and the currency that's used in the demon realm is called Dokuro. That's what the name of the currency used in the demon realm. We heard that while they're in the hotel, getting the hotel, and I think that pretty much, that's pretty much the only missing information I had was those two things there that I didn't exactly say. But yeah, so I'm expecting the fourth episode, for them to be finding their plane. They don't get it, but the other heroes come in and save the day. But yeah, that was awesome. I had a fun time watching this episode. I did a 7 out of 10. I would agree with that guy for sure. You expect it to be slow at parts, but it definitely picks up at the end. I mean, if you wait till the end, trust me, you won't regret it. But let me just make sure. I think I got all the pictures except for the end. Yeah, that's of course being Goku being silly there. You see? Sorry, you got me. Basically admitting that he ripped one. So, Goku never changed. Now, we did get these 2 extra eye catches here. So we saw this one, and then we saw that one. So whenever they go on break and they come back, we did see this one. I still don't know her name. We haven't been introduced to her. Do I think we're probably seeing her in the next one? I do. I expect to see her there. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it for this episode. Now, I just wanted to show this real quick. We actually got official art. We got new illustrations for the characters in Dragon Ball Daima. See, Adult Goku, Adult Vegeta, Mini Goku, Mini Vegeta, Mini Goku. The minis right there. Mini Shin, Mini Piccolo, Mini Goku, Mini Vegeta, Mini Bulma. Unknowns there. More illustrations there from Daima. Mr. Satan, Roshi. You see, even books are going to be made, which is going to be cool. Warp, Majin Buu, Baby Goten, Baby Trunks, Mini Goku, and keychains as well. So yeah, that'll go ahead and wrap it up for this video. Of course, guys, as usual, if you enjoyed what you saw, leave a like, subscribe. Of course, feedback will always be appreciated, and I will catch you all in the next episode review of Dragon Ball Daima, episode number 4. Can't wait for that one. Later, guys.